She's asking for more. She wants more attention. She wants more investment in resume. She wants more commitment from you. Hi, everyone. Today I want to share with you this challenging topic when she's asking for more commitment in the relationship. My name is Tente, and I will give it a try to help you to understand what she's really meaning with more commitment, with more attention, with more investment. She's asking for more, but what does she really means? How does it practically looks like? And what can we do as a man to provide this to her? How can we drive our relationship to a better level by solving this sort of demand or request? So, if you find yourself in this situation and you can really relate to that moment where she's constantly asking for more, but it doesn't seem to be enough. I'm trying, I'm telling her I love her, but it's still not enough. She's asking for more commitment. Now, I do have to state whatever I will share today doesn't has to be confused with being a slave or constantly being the in pleasing her and doing whatever she's asking and saying yes to everything. I'm only talking about commitment. So commitment it's it's sort of a statement. It's not about pleasing. It's not that she's telling you, "Hey, do this, go to the supermarket, just give more, give more, give more." This is a proof of commitment. This is more proof of maybe. I'm not saying just maybe. It depends on the context of the situation. But this points more out to being a slave. Do this, do that, do this, do that. If you want to be with me, you have to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. So yeah, just make sure you're not confusing this with becoming a slave because this is not my intention. My intention is to empower you and empower your relationship. So it's about making sure that you're going towards a healthy relationship and not a toxic one. So let's have a look. Commitment. What is she asking for? What is this thing that she has been asking so many times? I've experienced it myself, and I have to say that I was not always good in this. It took me a long time to really understand what she was asking for. What was the thing? What is this commitment? What is this investment that she's asking? Why she's saying she cannot trust me? So it took me a very long time to understand it. I even managed to experience it on the other side, where I was actually asking for more commitment in the sense of, yeah, if you're committed, then commit. If you're not, then don't. So this was me. And that's also where it helped me to really understand what commitment involves and how important it is to our relationship. When you only have one person who is committed, it feels that there's only one driving this relation, one that is really invested in the relationship, one that actually really wants the relationship to work. But yeah, it's not always an intention thing to not commit. Many people don't understand and they confuse commitment to sacrifice. And there's where things go really wrong. I experienced this myself again, where I was asking for a certain commitment in, yeah, driving the relationship, in making the relationship a healthy relationship. But for the person, it felt like for her it was a huge commitment, no, sorry, a huge sacrifice of losing herself. So what I faced was an ego stepping up and being very resistant. And of course, that relationship ended up in breaking up. Of course, there was no future on that because there is only one person that is sort of committed to something. And here is another one. One person can be committed to something, but cannot be committed to something else. And usually, this is also very connected to the expectations. What are you expecting from a relationship? What is she expecting? However, today we're only sharing about commitment. I thought about bringing expectations as well, but I was like, no, it's going to be too confusing. It's going to be too big. It's going to be too long. So I will leave expectations and managing expectation in a relationship for another podcast, for another episode where I will share more about it. But yeah, for this, stay tuned. Of course, follow me if you can. And at some point, I will record it and I will share it. So let's go for it. Lack of commitment is one of the main blames you see nowadays. In today's society, we are so used to constantly change partner and go here and go there and go there. So it has become really difficult for us to commit to one thing because we want to discover, we want to explore. And yeah, in consequence, if you add the fact that we don't really know what it means to commit, that we believe that commitment is actually taking away our freedom, well, yeah, that's how actually we end up where we see that lack of commitment is one of the main blames of today. Many relationships are constantly blaming about, yeah, there is no commitment in this relationship. And it happens in healthy relationship and it happens in unhealthy relationships. So it's a really main topic. That's why I brought it up today. So with this, what I'm saying is that you're not alone. You're not the only one facing this situation. It's pretty common, and you're not a bad man for this. You might not be aware, but it doesn't make you a bad or a strange person. It's something that you clearly can even share with your friends, and you will notice that this is a very common topic. People are used to the me and the you and not so much to the us. So this is very connected to the previous point where we see in relationships where we speak about this is me and this is my boundaries and this is my limit and this is my freedom and this is you and this is your boundaries and this is your limits and this is your freedom. So it's me and you. And yeah, it doesn't really help. I just have to say it this way. It just doesn't really help. If you're starting a relationship and you're not really looking for building a us where two people, two individuals are important and have their space and value, it's going to be very challenging for your relationship to thrive because you're actually separating already by saying me and you. You're already putting a separation, so there is not really a connection of us. And when you focus on building a relationship, this is extremely important. It's not so much about you and her, it's about the us. And yeah, modern society tells you that as an individual, you have to be in your power and so on. But this is the thing is that we believe, or we tend to believe, that the us disempower us. And that this means that we are sacrificing a part of us. So we're so used to the me and you that we believe that the fact that we're gonna build the us, or that we're gonna become a us, that we're actually being deleted somehow, and that we're losing ourselves in the other, which is something that does happen. But this is usually in an unhealthy relationship where things are not really balanced. Then yes, we tend to lose each other inside of each other. And this is, of course, not something that you want to be building or that you want to be creating. You're looking for us where each individual has his value, has his position, has his voice to speak up for himself. And it's actually a add up and a sum of empowerment. So I'm helping my partner to empower herself, and she's doing the same. That's why we are working as a us, and the importance of the us is sacred. It's something that you really want to commit to in order to take care of it. So changing this conception of me separated by you and going towards us is going to help you to commit to the us, because in the us you're also involved, you're also part of the us. So you're committing to something where you are part of it and not to her where you're not really part of it. If you commit to her and you do things for her, you might become a certain slave. But if you commit to the us where you also have your space, you're adding value to yourself at the same time you're adding value to her. So commitment in a relationship is stating that you deeply want it. You want that relationship to work. You want a future for that relationship. You're stating it by committing to it. You're saying to her, you're saying to yourself, and you're telling life that you want to be in this relationship. It's very similar when you commit to a dream, right? It's very similar. You're committing to the dream. So you're committing and you're stating that you want that dream to become real. Same goes for a relationship. This one is a really important one. And because here is where a lot of confusion happens. Commitment does not give a guarantee that it will work, but it gives a guarantee that you will always give it all to make it work. And there is where we tend to confuse it because when we commit to something, we tend to say, "Oh, but I cannot commit because I don't know if it will work." But this is not commitment. You don't know if it will work. You can only give a guarantee to the person and a statement, "I will do whatever it takes to make this relationship work. So I'm going to try really hard. I'm going to give it all to make sure that the us becomes a healthy relationships or any other goal you might have as a relationship. I'm going to give it all so that we have our home, a family. It doesn't matter what, but you're committing to it. So you will try everything to make it happen. True commitment gives a feeling of safety. And you were asking like, why, what does she wants from me? And this is mainly the biggest thing she wants. She wants safety. She wants to feel safe, having security that you're not going to run away tomorrow just because something, yeah, it's not how you want it, or just because there is a challenge and then suddenly you're just going to run away. If she knows and she can feel that you have this commitment, that you will always try, even though if there is a challenge, she knows you're going to stay there because you're going to give it all. So the outcome is you're giving her the feeling of safety that she doesn't have to worry that you're going to run away. And if you really feel into this, tap into it. How would you feel if she can run away at any moment? At a good day, at a bad day, at a very small challenge, or at a big challenge, that she at any moment can just run away and she's gone. It is reliable and not changeable depending on the level of challenge faced. And this is again what I'm just shared, right? You can rely on that person. You can rely on that statement. You can rely on that commitment. And it doesn't change depending on the level of challenge faced. If I speak for myself, I don't care how big the challenge is. I really don't care. You can give me the biggest challenge. I still will be committed to overcome this challenge because the reward of overcoming a very big challenge is huge and massive. So if I'm committed to it, of course I expect my partner to be committed too. So I can rely on her as well. And same goes for her. She wants to be able to rely on your statement or new commitment. And no matter which challenge comes, you're going to try. Now, these other 2 points that I'm going to share are very important to not enter in confusion and start doing something that you don't want. It is not a contract that you hold that holds your hands tied to become a slave, but it is a loyal declaration of true love and faith to the us while maintaining sovereignty of ourselves. This is so true. It's not a contract. You don't become a slave. If you believe this, you will have a struggle to commit and you will lose your freedom and that sensation of freedom. That's why you will step away from commitment because you fear losing your freedom. It is a loyal declaration of true love and faith. to the us. Imagine when I'm thinking about this, or when I'm saying this, I'm thinking about this soldier or this warrior that is, or the prince. Let's leave it on prince. It's really nice. He has a loyal declaration of true love and faith. He is ready to do whatever it takes to make it work. Fight dragons, fight challenges, overcome them, but he's still in love with this us, and with her, of course, because she's included in the us. And you're still being sovereign about yourself. You're not losing yourself. You're not losing your freedom because you made that declaration. It comes out of you. Nobody pointed a gun at you to say it. And even if that happens, if she's threatening you and you're saying it, it's not a true declaration. It's not a loyal declaration. It's not a true love, and there is no faith. So, there, of course, you're entering in toxicity. That's where you don't want to go. But true commitment can only be true and cannot be faked. So, if you're really committing to something, you know that you have still your freedom. And now listen to this one. You do not back off. That's the commitment. You do not back off of any big challenge. You're a man that has made a statement, a loyal declaration, a commitment to the us, to the sacredness of the us. So you do not back off, but you are allowed to surrender after giving it all. So once you have tried it all, once you have given all what you've got, and you realize that there's nothing else that you can do, your time is over, and you accept the surrender. And this one, this last point, is the one that actually gives you this power of freedom, is the one that gives you the sensation of always being free. Keep this one in mind, because this is the one that keeps you empowered, even though you're committed to a us, to a relationship. I hope this can give you a very big insight, and I hope you now understand what she's really meaning, and that you can use this on a practical way, and that you can also communicate towards her on a different way now. I wish you a great commitment if this is the position where you are at, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next podcast.